Hello?
Hello, can you
Yes,
hear
I can
me?
hear you. How about me? Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I'm hear
Okay,
you.
that's great. So, now by the way, I am teacher Deann of Actions Language Online. How about you? What is your name?
Oh, my name is Jing.
Jim. Okay, is that Jim or
Yeah.
Jing?
Um, I think it's okay. Two names. It is the similar pronounce
Okay.
for my name. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you prefer? Do you prefer Jim or Jing? J
Jim.
Oh,
Jim.
Jim. Okay, that's a wonderful name.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Thank you.
okay, so now let us introduce ourselves. Now, let me. Do you want me to start or you want?
You mean introduce
Yes, so
myself?
it's better to introduce yourself first.
Okay. Okay. My name is Jim, and I'm from Taiwan, and I'm 25 years old. And this is my first lesson to to action
Mm-hmm.
lesson.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is your first time. Is it your first time to learn English?
No, but for the online English lesson, this is the first
Oh,
time.
I see. Okay. So nice to meet you, Jim. Again, I'm teacher Deann of Actions Language Online, and I am a professional teacher a professional teacher, sorry. And I live in the Philippines, and I like music and reading. How about you?
Um, I like watching the American series and listen to
Mhm.
music and and watching the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What American series do you like?
My favorite series is Two Broken Girls. You know,
Two Oh,
Two
Two
Broken
Broke
Girls.
Girls. Okay, I
Yeah.
know that, but I am not that familiar with the story itself. But I have heard a lot of good reviews about Two Broke Girls. Okay, is it good? Is it good? Mm-hmm. Hello? Okay, is it
Hello.
good?
Oh yeah, this is a um good movie, good series to me. The um Two Girls is the main art actress in this series, and one is the girls who was very rich before, but she's broken. Then she met the girl. She's a waitress, and she is called I forgot the name of the girls, but it's very funny stories. I thought.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, so thank you for sharing a little bit about that certain series. It makes it interesting. Okay, so you also have mentioned that you like to watch movies. What kind of movies do you usually watch?
I like to see the comedy type
Mhm.
movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
family type movies. That means
Uh,
movies that are suitable for kids and adults.
I think it's preferred suitable to the adult because I like much like the black
Mm-hmm.
humors. It's like this thing.
Okay, I see.
And yeah.
Okay, so you like movies that are like that. Okay, so thank you very much for sharing a lot about your preferences. Now, this time, are you ready for the class?
Yeah, I'm
Ready.
ready. For,
Okay, ready for the class. So, this time we will have, or your lesson will be English for socializing. Okay, so what do you mean by the word socializing?
okay. Pardon? It's not very
Hello?
clear.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Hello? Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I was charging my laptop. That's why. Okay. So can you hear me clearly right now?
Yes.
Yes, great. Now this time we will have again your lesson, or this unit is about English for socializing. Now when you hear the word socializing, what comes to your mind?
Socializing. I thought it's the communication with the people and and everything start is from the socializing, I
Yes,
think.
okay, it's communication, communicating with people. And yes, everything starts with socializing. We will not have any connections. We will not have any friends. We will not have, or we cannot build relationships without socializing,
Yeah.
right? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now how do you socialize?
Um, you mean the first time or the common mode for the
Yes,
socialize?
yeah, your common thing, like your common way of socializing. Like, how would you make friends, or how would you, like, socialize with others?
Maybe have the date or hang out with
Ooh.
someone or discuss with the same
Mm-hmm.
hobbies. Mm, maybe uh have exercise together or yeah.
Wow, that's a lot already. So you can, if you have an interest for someone, you can go on a date, you can, like, ask the person for his or her interests, exercise together. Some people would have a drink with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, like a lot. There's a lot of ways on how to socialize, even social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or WeChat, or anything else, or Line. Okay, that is also a platform for socializing. Now, we connect, or we make contact through socializing, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So that's why our first unit is making contact. Now, in this unit, you will expect that you will be discussing all about how to connect with others, making contact with others, and socializing with them. Okay, now let us start with the first, or no, that will be the second page. Can you see the second page?
Oh yes. Making
Okay,
contact.
so we have here making contact. Now, earlier I have asked you about your ways on how to socialize with others, right? So, in the
Yes.
starter, it says that first, look at some of the activities involved in socializing. So earlier you have given me your own ways of socializing. Now let us see the activities, or let us look at the activities involved in socializing. Okay, so I want you to read those ways on how to socialize.
Oh, yeah. You mean
Can you
read?
tell me what are the activities in this picture?
Oh, the left one picture show. Do you mean just read
Or
or describe the
you can
picture?
just read it.
Okay. Showing a visitor around your town or city
Mm-hmm.
and making small talk at a meeting, introducing visitors, chatting during a coffee break, greeting a visitor, taking a visitor out to lunch or dinner, networking at a trade fair or conference.
Okay, so we have showing a visitor around your town or city, introducing visitors, chatting during a coffee break, making small talk at a meeting, taking a visitor out to lunch or dinner, greeting a visitor, networking at a trade fair or conference. Okay, so this setting would be common in what place? Or these activities. Okay, by looking at these activities that we have here, in what place or in what setting is it, or it is very common?
Can you come in?
Okay, so it's okay, it's
Sorry.
okay. If I am talking too fast or if there is anything that you don't understand, just tell me, okay? Okay.
Okay.
So by looking at the activities involved in this picture, what do you
Yeah.
think is the setting? Okay, or in what place or in what setting is it common?
It is
Mhm.
common.
Is it at school? Is it at home?
Oh, on maybe at the office or conference.
Very good. So it is common in the office, right? Yes,
Yeah.
very good. So do you also make these kinds of activities?
Activities. No, no.
Okay. So looking at the activities that are involved in here, can you add anything else?
But anything else? You mean the activities?
Or can you add anything in this activities?
Hmm, you can be said or anything. Hmm, maybe have a uh,
Okay, just anything that would be involved in socializing.
maybe
Huh?
discuss
Pardon?
uh, maybe discuss the business.
Okay, discuss business.
Yeah, or uh, I think the picture is set of the socializing in the
Oh,
office.
okay. Or maybe you can give me another one. Okay,
Another
not,
one.
it's okay if it is not involved in the office.
um, at the dessert afternoon.
At the, what is that again?
At the dessert after
Oh,
party.
dessert? You mean dessert like this one?
Yeah,
Okay, after the
yeah.
party. Okay, or while you are having desserts after the party.
Having dessert. Yeah.
Okay. Having dessert after party. Okay, so can you think of anything else?
Mm, exchange the information.
Okay, exchanging.
Uh, e- exchange the personal information,
Okay.
contact
Okay,
information.
exchanging. Let me rephrase that one into exchanging contact information.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Mm, in the YouTube.
In the YouTube. Oh, you mean through sharing videos like that?
Yeah, maybe sharing the
Oh,
videos or yeah,
okay. Do you share videos to your friends?
yeah.
Yes, me too. Most of the time I share videos to friends or to someone I know that has interest with that. Or if we can remember a memory that is related with the video, so we can share it. Like I share it to them. How about you? When do you usually share videos?
Mm, when? You mean when?
Like when? What are the
Uh,
situations where you usually share videos to others?
maybe I will share the video. It's that one I know his hobby or what he is interesting
Okay.
about. I will show I will show the relate videos to him and maybe have a discuss or discuss the videos. Yeah,
Okay, so maybe have a discussion, right?
yeah.
Okay. A discussion. Okay. So instead of discuss, you can say maybe have a discussion.
Maybe have a discussion.
Okay, very good. So thank you for answering that one. And I know that there are a lot of activities in your mind that is related to socializing, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so thank you for that. Now, this time, let us move on to the next part of the activity. Now, work with a partner to ask and answer the following questions. Now, since there's just the two of us, okay, so let us ask and answer the following questions. Okay, so let's start with the number one. And this time you can ask me the same question that I asked you. Okay, so for example, when I say, when and where do you need to socialize in English? Then you will answer, then you can ask that certain question to me when you are done. Okay, you can say, how about you, teacher? Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so it is like
okay.
a question and answer portion. Okay, so now let us have number 1. Now, Jim, when and where do you need to socialize in English?
Mm, uh, English. I think if I in a foreigner abroad, if I'm at a abroad place, I need use English to have communication.
Mm-hmm.
That I need, yeah,
Okay, or instead of I think, if I am in abroad, you can say I think if I'm abroad. Mm-hmm.
and abroad. Yeah,
Okay, you can. Okay. You can use, or I can use
I
this.
can
Okay,
use
I can
English.
use English for communication, because you're right, because they say that English is the universal language, right? Like if I'm a Filipino and you are a Taiwanese, the only thing that would keep us connecting, or the only thing that will keep us communicating, will be the English language, right?
Mm,
Yes.
yeah.
So if you are in abroad, or when you are faced with foreigners, okay, then you can um like communicate in English, because of course it's not every day that we talk in English, right? Although there are a lot of people, or also there are families who make English as their second language, okay, then that would be the time that we can say that they can speak or socialize in English. So how about you? When and where did you usually, like in your everyday life, when and where would you usually socialize in English, or would you talk in English?
Mm, when I would reply the
Mm-hmm.
email with the foreigner foreigner customers, I will use English to reply, and maybe in my office,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I will do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you will reply to your foreign connections, okay, like
Yeah,
mm-hmm,
or
if you have transactions with them in email, then that's the time that you are required to reply to them in English, right?
yeah.
Yes. Okay. So your turn. Can you ask me?
Oh, uh, how about you?
Okay. When and where do I socialize in English? Mm, I think I socialize in English when it comes to interviews. Okay. Here in the Philippines, job interviews would usually, or most of the time, like 98 to 99%, I think, would require you to speak in English, because interviewers, especially those who are in office jobs or professional jobs, the interviewers would speak, or would usually speak in English. So in that way, that is also a form of communication. So we get to know each other, the interviewer and me, the interviewee. So that is the time I think I can socialize in English. And yeah, if I have a person, a foreigner whom I can talk to, that's also the time that I speak English. Like right now, I speak English to you because you are a foreign person. Like you do not speak Filipino, so I need to speak English to you. What else?
Mm.
Mm, I think I also speak English when it comes to mm, what else? I think that's all. I cannot think of anything else, but oh, in school,
So in
yeah,
school, oh,
especially me because I am an English major student, and when I was in college, so most of the time I need to answer, to speak, communicate with my teacher in English. Mhm.
oh. So your country, you won't use the Filipino to talk or communicate in, in the office
Oh,
for
we
work?
use that one, but when we are just around Filipinos. Like we use that one to speak with the ones that we know, our colleagues at work or our classmates. But when it comes to work, like if you are asked in English, the rule that I know or that was given to me when I was still at school is that once you are once someone talks to you in English, you answer in English. Okay, so that is why if there is someone who would ask me in English, then I would probably answer in English, and that is commonly in interviews and in school when I'm being asked by my teacher. But if the teacher would like speak in a Filipino language, then I would also speak in or answer in a Filipino language, of course.
Oh.
How about you? Is there an instance in school that you need to speak English for a long time, like, or to speak English for longer times or longer hours?
No. If I speak longer time, I won't be here.
Okay, it's okay. Actually, Filipinos doesn't have a perfect um, English speaking skills, or Filipinos does not, or Filipinos doesn't have a perfect English. We are not that proficient in English. But then, since we are being trained at school, since when
Mm.
we are young, then that's the time that we have learned like a lot of English words too. So we are not, our English is not rare in our culture. So yeah, that's why it is not too hard for us to learn and communicate in English. Okay, but we are not perfect when it comes to speaking in English, of course. Nobody's perfect.
I told you. I think you are. I think the English is enough to use for living. It's
Ye-
enough. Don't be perfect.
yes, yes. Even if Americans, they do not have the perfect English. Okay.
Oh
Although their
yeah.
first language or native language is English, but then there are a lot of words that are not appropriate. There are a lot of words that are not properly used in a sentence that they usually speak,
Oh.
especially when you Um, okay, what are the instances? Oh, especially when you hear or listen to R&B or rap, like rap music in America, like the American rap music, then you would really know that there are a lot of imperfections when it comes to sentence construction. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so even them do not have the perfect English. Okay, so we are here. I'm also here to like learn about your ideas, but I'm also here to help you aside from that, so we can help each other, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, okay. So whenever I am teaching someone in English, I don't think that I am the only one helping the person, but I also think that the person helps me in some other ways.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, they can help me learn about their culture. Okay.
Oh, you are so modesty. It's like they
Oh,
say,
you
how to
mean
say,
modest?
uh,
N-O-D, not.
Modesty.
Oh, modesty.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, must.
Okay, so you mean I'm modest. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Thank you for that. Okay. So thank you for telling me. I think it's a compliment. Thank you. Okay. So is there anything else that you want to add? When and where do you need to socialize in English?
You need to speak like English. So you said you in your
Mm-hmm.
country you someone talk you in English, you will talk you replied in
Mm-hmm.
English, but in the normal life you will use the Filipino.
Yes, yes. Here in the Philippines, we have two main languages of the country. That is, Filipino and English. But there are, aside from that, there are a lot of dialects. When we say dialects, these are the languages common in provinces or common in a certain place. Okay, so yeah, we also speak those languages. Aside from English, of course. Like,
So you mix the Filipino and English together in the one
no, no,
sentence.
no. There are
No.
just times that we can use both in one sentence, but it's not that used. Okay. There are times, most of the time, we speak in pure Filipino. There are also times that
Here,
we speak in Filipino with a little bit of English. It depends on the situation.
okay.
Okay, but whenever it is formal, usually when it comes to school or yeah, on job
Yeah.
interviews, we speak English. Yeah. Okay, how about in Taiwan? When it comes to job interviews, do you also or are you also being interviewed in English?
Um, depend on what kind of company. If the company need to contact with the for,
Mm-hmm.
foreigner, yeah, you need some ability about the
Oh,
English.
okay.
But if the customer is just for the Taiwanese or Chinese, it's okay. You don't use the English.
Okay.
But for my experience, I think most of company um, need the employers need a player have some maybe no more or no more ability to English.
Okay, an applicant, you mean?
Uh,
Instead of the word applier, it can
employee
say an applicant.
applicant. Oh,
Okay, so that is in the page 3. Okay, I have, okay, noted that one. Some companies need an applicant who can speak in English.
yeah, who can speak English?
Okay, okay. Yes, because, as what you have said, there are companies that has foreign boss, okay, foreign bosses, and we cannot get away with speaking in English. So that's why you need to speak in English, right? Hello? Oh,
Uh,
okay. So
hello.
now do you have any questions about this part?
Uh,
Mm,
no, we can.
okay,
Uh,
anything to share? You can tell me.
and here.
Okay, if you want to share an idea, you can just tell me. Okay?
Oh,
Okay, like
okay.
if we are in the middle of the discussion and there is something that comes to your mind that you want to share, then you can tell me. Okay?
Oh,
Okay, so now this time let us have number 2. Okay? Number 2.
okay.
Now, who do you speak to? Are they native or non-native English speakers? Who do you find easier to understand? Now we have 3 questions in this part, right? So
Oh,
we
yeah.
have who do you speak to?
Okay.
Are they native or non-native English speakers? Who do you find easier to understand?
So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
answer. Who do you speak to? Who do you speak to? Where? What? What situation?
When you socialize in English, who do you speak to? Are they also Taiwanese or usually foreigners?
Oh, who do you speak to? Maybe foreigner
Okay,
customers.
or foreign customers.
Foreign customers. Yeah.
Okay.
Are they native or non-native? Um, I think both. Uh, both. Yeah.
Both.
BOTH.
Okay. So you can say I think they are both.
They are
Okay.
both. Who do you find to understand? Um, I think it's the native English speaker.
Oh, okay.
Because native English speaker will depend your English ability to use the word or uh use the much easier word or sentence to communicate with you.
Okay. They use easier words or sentences
Uh,
that will make it easier for you to understand,
uh, maybe.
right? Okay, so native English speakers, because they use easier words or sentences that will make it easier for you to understand. Okay. But there are some people who do not find native English speakers to be easy to understand, because there are English, I don't know if this one happens to you, but there are also native English speakers that are very hard to understand, especially if they have the accent or if they speak
Oh,
fast,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Uh, especially to
Mm-hmm.
UK
Yeah,
listen.
because
I can understand the word and the pronounce for
yeah,
them.
the word and the pronunciation, right?
Pronunciation,
Okay,
yeah.
so you cannot understand because they have a British accent.
Yeah, British
Very
accent.
good. Okay. Also, for me, sometimes it's hard to understand the words that they speak, especially when they're fast. Like a
Uh,
while, no, no, no. It's like the other night, Monday night, I think. I've watched a movie called Bandersnatch that is on Netflix, and
Vendors,
Bandersnatch. I don't know if you are familiar with this one.
can you spell it?
Sure. Okay, so that is Bandersnatch. And the characters in this movie are speaking in British accent, British English accent, because they are in UK. Now, I don't have any subtitles with me, but the first
Oh,
half of the movie was hard to understand because of the way they speak. Like, I cannot understand some of the words that they have, so sometimes I have to stop and think of the word that he had said, or that the character had said. So it is quite difficult to understand. hmm Okay, so how about you? Do you also find them difficult to understand, like the British English speakers?
mm, yeah, because usually I use English in the because I type the English in the
Mm-hmm.
email. So and the um customer is the British, and he used um some word it's not common, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Okay, so like what words?
What word? No, I don't have any ideas for that, but it's very
Mm-hmm.
different with the American,
Oh, uh-huh.
but it's the same word, but it's different word, uh, different spell.
Oh,
So,
yeah, they have different spellings sometimes. Uh-huh. Okay. And I agree that there are some words that they do not consider, like, no, not consider, but there are some words that are different with the English language, like the American English language. Right, so that is why it is quite hard to understand. Okay, now your turn. Or I will just continue with answering my own.
oh, oh, oh. So, who do you speak to in
hmm
English? and um, who is native or non-native English
Mm-hmm.
speaker? Which one is much easier to
Okay,
understand?
thank you for that. Now, who do I speak to? I usually speak to Filipinos and to foreigners, most especially right now and that I'm teaching online. I usually speak to Taiwanese, and both are non-natives, native English speakers, I think, because we have the first language that we speak. And who do I find easier to understand? I think it depends, because sometimes there are native English speakers that I don't understand, and there are non-native English speakers that I understand. There are some native speakers that I understand, and there are non-native speakers that I don't understand. So it depends upon the situation. Okay.
Mm.
But mostly, I can understand both Filipinos, because Filipinos would usually just use simple English when it comes to communication, not the harder ones. Usually, Filipinos would use English or hard English words when it comes to writing formal letters, formal documents, emails, and writing a speech or telling a speech, but mostly they use easier English words. So, yeah.
Oh.
hmm Like what I am doing right now. Even though I am teaching and teaching requires, even though I'm teaching English,